I sat in the dark waiting room, observing my surroundings. Upon the wall there were various advertisements of products she sold. I got up to observe the nearest display. Permanent eye color changes, it said in bold writing at the top of the display. Around it showed various pairs of what looked like contact lenses with little spikes around the edges. $250 for natural colors such as blues, greens, grays, browns, and blacks. $300 for unnatural colors. The unnatural colors looked, well, unnatural, like what cosplayers wear at Comic Cons. There was every color you could possibly wish for. There were metallics and gold, silvers, and blues. There were glow-in-the-dark pairs in pink, green, and yellow. There had to be at least 10 different shades for each color. My favorites were the pastel colors. Pastel green. Green was my favorite color. I was stuck between pastel green number 3 or pond green. I wrote them down on the chart on the clipboard the woman gave me. I moved on to the next display. Skin this time. There were your usual skin colors, but there were also skin colors with tints of gold or silvers. I saw a sickly shade of pale green skin. I liked green, but that was horrible. I settled for pale, unblemished skin. It was named Ivory Crystals. It was crystals because it had a slight shimmer to it. The next display was facial features. An array of noses, lips, ears, eyebrows, and teeth. I chose a small upturned nose. It was named the Pixie. I chose a small pair of pink, soft lips. They were named Rose Dew. I chose a small pair of ears that were named Diamond 4. I chose a pair of amazing eyebrows. I always liked a man to look groomed. They were slightly thick and black with a nice defined shape and angle. They were called Dark Defiance. Then I examined the teeth on display. There were crooked and yellow ones, some with only 5 teeth in the whole set. Who would choose these? Whatever floats your boat, though. I chose a set of straight, unnaturally white teeth. They were beautiful and perfect. They were called Pearly Gates. I moved on again. The next display was set on a small table. It had different skulls and facial bones attached to metal rod displays. I chose a nice skull with prominent cheekbones and a chiseled jaw. It was named the Child of Venus. The next display was also on a table. There were wig stands and tons of different colored wigs displayed. I just chose plain black. She said I could pick the style later with her hairdresser. The hair was called Ravenley. The last display was body types. There were your usual muscly, slim, fat, and others, but for extra money you could mix and match. You could add breasts for an extra $3,000. You could even have them operated on to give them a vagina. That would set you back $10,000. I chose a lean body with muscles that were defined. Not too muscly. I don't like it when guys look like they've ate a truckload of steroids. The body was called Nature's Models. Once I had filled in my chart, I sat back down, and not a second later the creaky door swung open. "Good evening, Miss DeLea. Are you ready to discuss some details?" Mrs. Nickens said to me. She was a rickety old woman with stringy gray hair and a sagging face. She had spent years perfecting her artwork. She was willing to share it with a select few, including me, for the right price. "Yes, I'm ready. Shall we get started?" I replied to her. "Yes, come into my office. Do make yourself at home, dear." She was sweet. She was also a genius. I walked into her office. It smelled like an antique shop, like old books and dust. Mrs. Nickens motioned for me to pass my clipboard over to her. I watched as she scanned through my chart and assessed my choices. "Okay, Miss DeLea. Your choice will be ready and finished by tomorrow. Is that okay? I can finish it by tonight for an extra $5,000. I was anxious and excited. "I'll pay the extra. I want it finished as soon as possible." "Okay, sweetie. You can wait if you like. We have a little lounge with some snacks and a coffee machine," Mrs. Nickens offered. "Yeah, that'd be great." I didn't mind waiting. Mrs. Nickens told me to follow her. She led me to the art room where the magic happened. In the art room there was another door. She opened it and led me into a small, cozy room. The walls were a pale yellow color, with lemon yellow sofas. A white coffee table sat in the center with a few magazines on it. There was a TV on the wall. A small kitchen-type area was sat in the left corner with a sink, a microwave, and a coffee maker. I sat on the lemon sofa. Here are some noise-canceling earphones. They connect to the TV or radio, Mrs. Nicken said. Thanks, what are they for? I asked, confused. Mrs. Nicken looked a little uncomfortable and rubbed the back of her neck. Well, things can get a little loud in the art room. Some people don't like to hear it. Okay, thank you, I replied. I should get started. Please stay in here. Do not come into the art room until I come to get you. I'll see you later. And with that, Mrs. Nicken rushed off, shutting the door behind her. About 20 minutes later, I heard some commotion in the art room. Maybe his muffled screaming? I'm not too sure. The door opened then, and the sounds of screams became deafening. No wonder she gave me earphones. The door shut again, and the noise became muffled again. A woman dressed in a black suit dress and blazer stood in front of me with a tired look on her face. Miss Delia, could you describe the hairstyle you want to me, or pick one from the brochure? Thank you. The woman spoke to me with a ticked-off tone. I don't know why she was angry. I was freaking paying her for this. I already knew how I wanted the hair. I wanted it short in the back and sides and long on the top. I wanted something to grab onto, run my fingers through. I told her and she nodded her head and walked out of the room. For the next few hours I sat and listened to various sounds coming from next door. Drilling, screaming, shouting, drilling. My project had a set of lungs, I'll tell you that. It was around 7 hours after I last saw Mrs. Nicken. She looked tired but satisfied with her work. She told me it was time to take my art home. I paid her and she got her assistants to load up my art into a metal cage on wheels. They covered it with a black silk sheet. They helped me wheel it to my car. And then I got home. I struggled with the cage, but I managed. I wheeled it into my living room. By the time I showered, changed, and ate a sandwich, I started to hear whimpers from under the silk sheet. It's time to meet my masterpiece. I pulled the sheet off, and the dim light from the lamp flooded the cage, but I could still see it was perfect. Hello, I whispered to my perfect creation. It whimpered in response. Don't be scared. I won't hurt you as long as you behave. And I wouldn't. If it behaved, then no harm would be done. But bad behavior means punishment. I opened the locks on the cage. Stand up. With shaky legs it stood, still in obvious pain from the beauty procedures. I flicked on the lights for a closer inspection. That perfect skin and shade of ivory crystals. It was perfect, just like I imagined. What is your name? I asked it. My name is whatever you choose. Its voice was smooth and silky, but still shaky and scared. You will now answer to the name Roman, I told it. Do you know who I am? I asked it again. You're my mistress, and I will obey you. Good boy. Now come upstairs, you need to rest. Yes, mistress. It stepped facing me, and I looked into those pond green eyes and fell in love. He was mine. All mine. Mistress Nicken was truly an artist, and a genius. Ladies, if you're looking for the perfect man that listens to you, that stays faithful to you, that obeys you, then track down Mistress Nicken. If you have the money, you'll be able to find her. If not, then tough luck, because you'll be stuck with scouring through the cheats and buttholes for the rest of your life. Roman is the perfect boyfriend. Mrs. Nicken did such a good job. I don't even recognize his old face when I see it on the missing posters around town. And he never tries to run away. The trainers must have been harsh with him. He's such a good boy. Mrs. Nicken is the one who can help you. What's up, guys? This is Dylan from Dylan's Fear Files here, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm thinking I'm going to upload at least 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We'll just try to get all that lined out, and hopefully it goes well. But anyway, this is my first no sleep narration. I just thought this story really caught my eye. It was just very, 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 very disturbing, I thought. And I love being disturbed. Don't you? um, it really reminded me of American Mary. That's one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, and I highly recommend it. I'm not really sure that I think this story in particular is true, but it was still very interesting, and I hope it at least made you guys think about, what if this happened to you? And I know I certainly would not be that desperate to get a mate, and I was sorry. I know I wouldn't be so desperate to get a mate that I'd have somebody kidnapped in order to get one, but whatever floats your boat, as they said in the story. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and if you want to, send me some of your own stories, or fictional or otherwise, and I'll see you guys again in the next few days. Stay spooky, my friends.